Springer. Kelly, how are you? And you know what? We just continue to go different age groups, right? Or we talked to experts that's going to talk about pregnancy. We've talked to experts that talking about aging to very old aging to now to other topics and natural pathic. And Kelly, we have had a variety so far, haven't we?
We have, and I'm really excited to speak to Lisa today, and I'll introduce her right now because I am fully in this space right now. I got blasted right in it. Menopause is a huge topic for so many of us, and I am truly thrilled to introduce Lisa Boat, the visionary behind Liberated Menopause, a groundbreaking innovative, transforming how workplaces can support women during menopause. Her expertise empowers organizations to retain top talent, boost morale, and create menopause friendly policies that make a real impact. Please join me in welcoming Lisa Boat, a true leader in workplace transformation. So, welcome, Lisa.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. And welcome to perimenopause. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's so hot.
It is. Welcome to your perpetual hot girl summer. I live I live in Canada and it's winter. And so I'm like, hot flashes, bring it on. It feels like summer. So I know menopause and perimenopause often gets painted with a really negative brush. And I don't want to gloss over the things that are hard. Those things are real and they are hard. And it also is a really liberating time. And it can be a really beautiful time for transition in our lives. So I mean it when I say like congratulations and welcome because it it is a really beautiful, interesting, challenging time.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I fully
Yeah.
agree. So I am excited to hear how you are pushing into work sites. What are you doing there and the impact that it's having?
Yeah, thank you. So before I started this adventure, I was an educator for 20 years. So that is the space where I have been really doing a lot of work is with other educators. And also it's a demographic that needs that kind of support. The majority of people who are in caregiving professions in general, nursing, teaching, it is women and many, a huge part of their population is women at our age, especially when we start really looking at the range that perimenopause encompasses. So it can start in our late 30s, and can last up to is a huge part of a woman's life. And when you have that part of your workforce that is being impacted and hasn't been supported ever, really, for this transition that's happening, we're seeing educators, nurses walk out the door. And so for organizations to retain people who are incredibly valuable, right? Women at this stage have hold incredible institutional knowledge for the places that they work. Their skill level has been honed over decades. The professional learning that they have done over the years makes them really valuable. So I work with supporting organizations through professional learning. So I always start with sessions that just go into what is menopause, what is perimenopause, and I have an online course also that talks about the top 5 symptoms of menopause, perimenopause, and how they can potentially impact in the workplace. So I always start with those professional learning sessions, and it is so rewarding because I see the light start coming back on in women's eyes who were terrified that they were having the early stages of dementia, that they had no idea why their energy was so low and didn't think that they'd be able to continue to get to work every day. So it's really meaningful in that capacity and in knowing that you can give someone strategies to improve their quality of life so that they know it's not just like often when women go to their healthcare practitioner, it's like, well, it's the stage of life you're at now. It's just how it is. And that's not the right answer. There's so much we can do to improve our quality of life. So professional learning starts around that. And then I'm also working with organizations to develop policy, because having these conversations is not easy. Not every woman has all the knowledge that they need around what perimenopause, menopause is. And it's not easy often to go to the leadership of our organizations to say, so I'm experiencing perimenopause. This is how it's showing up in my work, and I feel really unsupported. So policy is key, so that sorry, perimenopause brain fog just happening in live time right now. so that those policies are already in place, so that people know what the recourse is, so that they don't feel like they're having to blaze this trail all on their own.
That's so.
What does that policy look like? Like if you're, yeah, I want to dive into that.
Yeah. So it's a spectrum, and it depends on what the capacity of the organization is. So it's everything from as simple as one, having ice packs available for people in freezers, because an ice pack on the back of the neck in the midst of a hot flush it's heaven. It's one of the best ways to sort of get control of that in the moment. Having a quiet place for people to have a change of clothes, so that if that has happened and suddenly you're completely soaked, there's a spot where you can go. You've got privacy to get yourself back together so that you can go back out into the workplace. So those are really simple things that can be implemented right away. Then there's flexible work hours, right? Being able to work from home, all the way up to and including menopause leave. So we provide, in Canada anyway, we have a year's worth of maternity leave. And our bodies are going through just as significant a shift, just for all the opposite reasons. And so giving people the opportunity to see their healthcare practitioners, do all the work that they need to do to really take care of themselves, so that they're in a good place again to be able to come back into the workforce if that's their choice.
Okay.
Wow.
Kelly, I'm impressed by this for sure. And I wanted to jump into specifically, Kelly, what do you see when people come with perimenopause for asking to work with you? As what are you seeing in that?
Well, Neil, I gotta say, I mean, I started in nutrition very young. I started as a teenager and I got into private practice pretty early on. And these women would come in and tell me, and it's not that I didn't believe them. I just didn't fully understand. Obviously, like you don't know until you know situation, but actually experiencing what I have experienced is like, I think I took one for the team so that I can truly educate and teach others. But honestly, Neil, like it is more than you understand. So I was sitting recently at a CEO meeting, like everyone's there, they're all top level CEOs. And I'm looking around at the females in the room, and we're all in the perimenopausal, menopausal range, right? And I'm thinking to myself, how many of them are, struggling with all these different symptoms, and not to dismiss that men have things going on and stress levels or whatever, but it's something that you really to understand your female colleague, what is going on, and like just how impactful menopause and premenopausal like it is on your, like you said, like your brain and the thoughts and like what's going on with your body and things that are uncontrollable and embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're misdiagnosing like crazy. Kelly, what do you say on the weight loss side and the nutrition side when it comes to menopause? What recommendations do you have?
Well, again, just going through it and understanding like my body changed overnight. And Lisa, I'm sure that you've seen this. My husband's psyched. I mean, my chest size went up two sizes. I'm like, did you rub a genie lamp? Like So, but to just experience it is just incredible. So I think nutritionally, like I'm watching it myself. I'm actually wearing, for the first time ever, just started wearing a CGM just to see like where my range of glucose levels are, seeing what different things can help control, so that if I'm controlling that glucose and helping my brain to think more clearly, hydration, and I'm sure these are all the things that you bring into what you talk about, but
Mhm.
really having to put into practice what I teach people, I have to really do it more than ever.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other pieces of this, which can be hard in conversation because we just want our bodies to be the way they always were, is that this is a new version of ourselves.
Yes, it is.
And we will never be the same. Like every day, our whole lives, we have always had these shifts and changes. It's just really like the decline of estrogen and progesterone just sort of ramps up all of those experiences. And yes, we want to keep on top of our health so that when we're looking forward to having a health span where we are still able to do the things that we want to do without fragility, without fractures, without falls, we want to keep on top of that. And we also want to be gentle with ourselves in knowing that this transition is big and there are so many factors in it, and it's different for every single person's experience. So, and this is something I have to talk myself through every day as well, because we are so programmed to constantly be looking at ourselves in the mirror and looking for what are the defects, what are the flaws, and really giving ourselves some time to say, this version of who I am now. I need to get to know this body and how it works and what it needs to carry me forward. And that's why I think it's so important. And you started touching on that, to position the perimenopause and menopause symptoms that you have as messages from your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we listen to them, it's our body telling us where we need to focus and what it is that we need to keep our health at the level that we want it to be at.
And I think right before we started recording, you were talking about that this year has been a lot. And I think that that's something else to discuss because we are female and we are sending our kids to college and we are taking care of parents and we are doing that on top of it all. And a lot does fall on the female. And I was thinking that too as I was in that meeting of how many people are getting a text message saying, Mom, I need whatever, or, so, and it's again, not to Neil, like, I love that you're on here with us. It's not in any way to discredit the male, but it's so much still does fall on us and going through this period and still having to deal with everything else.
You don't have a
Mhm.
woman on your side, you're not going to be successful in life. And that's the bottom line. And you need to have a team. And you also have to understand the multiple areas and changes and what you go through and how people are treating women when they react a certain way. And it's just life. It's what it is. Now, Lisa, I was finding out Kelly's figuring this out. What would you say, nutrition wise, to kind of put this whole nutrition health standpoint for like the way I should exercise, eating at that age point, especially perimenopause?
Mhm. It's always it's a double-edged sword, this conversation, right? Because when people say, how do I feel better, my response is always, well, there's five pillars, right? So it's nutrition, it's movement, it's stress management, it's sleep, and then the fifth pillar is pharmacological, if that's the route that you decide to go down, right? Hormone menopause therapy. So the nutrition part is, we keep hearing, the Holderness family on Instagram is great at creating videos like how hard it is to get all of the protein that you need, all of the fiber that you need. It almost feels like it feels like a full-time job, right? To take care of the health needs that you have at this stage. And it makes a huge difference. Weight bearing exercise, protein, fiber, Kelly, like you were saying earlier, hydration. And part of the way I try to frame that with clients also is this is your opportunity to start giving back to yourself. You have poured yourself into everyone around you for decades. And I know that this feels like it's a job. And if you can shift your mindset to this is me taking care of myself now so that I can still be here to interact with my kids the way I want to be strong and in good health for my grandchildren, if that's what's in the future, or just even for your own self, right? We also always frame things as like do well for yourself so you can do well for others. Yes, kind and generous, and we also deserve to feel good and healthy and strong all the way through our lives because we are. Full stop. So it really is taking that time to start building those habits. And that's why having this conversation early with women who are in their 20s and 30s so that they know what's happening. The earlier you can start building these healthy routines, the easier it is to maintain them through the transition.
And I have to say, I mean, with all the talks that we have at our nutrition conferences and things like that, these menopausal talks are standing room only. I mean, everyone, and we're in the health field and we are dying for the knowledge. Like everyone's like, what is it? And I think there's so much more, but I think it's the compassion. Like the lady that was on the stage, it was great because she said, again, like I had weight gain, and she's, I'm just saying I had weight gain because it was strange. And it's okay to say it's strange, like, because it is. And when you never gain weight your whole life, and then you wake up one morning and your body changed, that's strange.
Yes.
It's okay. But I think, again, talking about it, that this is okay, you know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And taking it as that message from your body, like, hey,
Mhm.
things are changing on our internal landscape. We this is one way that we are letting you know. But absolutely, I think sometimes, especially when you're in the menopause space, it feels like that's all everybody is talking about. But the minute you step outside, you realize that there's still so much need for the
Mhm.
development of knowledge. And I feel like it is the work of women of our generation, right? Every generation of women there's been something that has been advocated for. And I feel like for us, this is our thing. This is where we are really going to make a difference for ourselves and for the women who are coming behind us. And I had the opportunity to be at a conference with Dr. Mary Claire Haver in October, and listening to these brilliant women who are leading the way in making sure that we get the healthcare. And I also think it's important to talk about, yes, the healthcare, but the holistic aspect of it as well. Like the health component is one, but like you said earlier, it is also our life context and circumstances that are changing so significantly. And so we can't ignore that. We have to talk about all of it together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think it's funny it seems like we're probably similar age, and someone asked it, they're like, oh, your daughter's a senior, and they're like, are you so sad? I'm like, no. No, 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 that she's the youngest of five. I'm like, no, I've done all the laundry, the cleaning, the fourth grade cookie, the band concerts, and I think it is like an empowerment. Like I'm excited to see me, where
Yeah.
we can go. And I think it is an empowering time. And I think if we kind of change that message, but I do think that the support now more than ever, I mean, you're seeing so many people come out and speak. I'm about to go to a women's conference tomorrow, actually, and excited to see who's there, what's being presented. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's really exciting. It is, like we said at the beginning, it is a challenging time, but it also is really exciting. And the changes and the evolution that's happening right now it's pretty incredible to watch happen.
Now, Lisa, where's the best place people can find information on you? Where can they go?
Instagram is a great place to start. Also, my website, liberatedmenopause.ca. That's where you can find all of my information and everything is linked there.
And what is your Instagram handle?
Oh, at lboate, LBOATE.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right. And Kelly, best place for you.
Yeah, so go to kellychoice.org and also Instagram is kellyschoice_nutrition. And thank you, Lisa. I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I love this conversation.
All right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show.